welcome to New Game Plus. I'm Tim, I'm joined by Donald. How are you?
I'm in a mood for celebration, Tim, because it is episode 150.
Yes, let's celebrate!
Yes, 150 years of quality video game coverage. Oh, how things were so different back then, Tim.
Yes, you had pixels you could fit your fist in,
Yeah.
and the games were not necessarily better, but different.
Just slightly different. They weren't in full 1080p, 30 frames per
30
second.
frames? What is this, 2012?
Oh, yeah, let's not go about those dark days. But I reckon this is a cause for celebration, isn't it?
Yes, of course we'll be looking forward and looking back at the last 150 episodes of New Game Plus and what we have in store for the future.
Yes, for the next 150 years of New Game Plus. Oh god, we're going to be here forever, aren't we?
Yes.
We also have the return of Old Game Plus, who are going to reminisce over the past, their usual business. And we'll also have a look back at the big news stories of the past 3 and a bit years.
Yes, and if you are with us from the start, from very episode 1, we had a special guest,
Yes.
Ben Michael Burns, comic book creator extraordinaire, author of Cranbourne Comics. He is back with us for episode 150.
Yes, here to tell us what's been going on in the intervening time, in the 1172 days. Can you believe, Tim, it's been a whole 1172 days between episode 1 and now.
That's like my WoW played time. So many years spent on that game.
That's an investment in Tim.
Yes,
An
but
investment with returns of...
I'm planning to get up there with Dota as well, so we'll see how that works.
Reach for the stars, Tim.
Another 150 episodes, we'll see.
But in the meantime, let's just get to the reminiscing, shall we?
Now, being 150, Tim, we thought we'd take a chance to have a quick look back at what we've enjoyed most about doing our time here on the show.
Yes, so let's see what the crew thought.
150 episodes. God, where do I start?
150 episodes. That is such a huge milestone. You know, the original run of Pokemon, that's almost one episode per Pokemon.
One of my favorite things from the past, say, 150 episodes of New Game Plus is seeing story become relevant in all sorts of gaming, from the small indie titles to the big blockbusters like The Last of Us and BioShock Infinite.
My favourite moment so far has got to be when Jason got us kicked out of Parliament.
Trivia. I mean, it's great to kind of go around doing trivia at places all around Melbourne and Sydney, but I think the highlight of all that, co-writing a trivia event that gets presented at the plenary. I mean...
We were up there to actually interview Tim Wilson. We've also done a couple of other interviews with Scott Ludlam and Fiona Patton, Jason Clear, and that would be the highlight, those interviews. It's been a lot of fun working on this show, but definitely looking up and seeing all the police around us because Jason had made a ruckus in Parliament was definitely my highlight.
It's not the games or the movies or magic or anything like that that I really look back with fondness. Though I do like all that stuff and I have had a lot of fun. It's just being creative and actually making television. That we make a half-an-hour show every week. I get to work with a great bunch of people.
Going to Tokyo with the crew and meeting Yukio Fatatsugi, who was the maker and designer for Phantom Dust and Panzer Dragoon games. Some of my favourite games.
I also love the fact that last year at PAX, I opened up a brochure to see our trivia panel name, To Rivia, Too Furious. That was dumb and that was great.
When we were producing this pilot for this show, I was struggling with the music because I had nothing to base it on, graphics and stuff. I got given the graphics. A week later, I presented it at a party to everyone and they were cheering and clapping and everyone was happy, and I love that moment.
Some of my favourite elements of New Game Plus involves all of us collectively as people, ordinary people, talking about video games, about some of our passions, even extending over to movies, media, manga, comics, you name it. We do absolutely everything.
I can't believe it's been 150 episodes already, and I have to say one of the best memories I've had has just generally been the travelling that we've been able to do with the show. Specifically going to Japan. Now, I'd been to Japan before, but I am a massive Japanophile, so it was just fantastic to actually go to Tokyo Game Show, to go experience all these games in Japanese and just see how excited the Japanese get about their video games. And also experience all the, UFO catches and all the stuff I bought that was really bad. But it was still so exciting.
My favourite moment? Right now, I guess. How much we've done together, how much of you guys have provided for us to do stuff, I guess. How much our fans have just allowed us to do so many great things. I guess my favourite moment, I guess TI3 segment we did like 2 years ago.
I haven't been on the team for long and I haven't been on screen for long, but I have watched the series all along, and it's been great seeing the team, evolve and grow up over the time. New people come in and out, and it's probably one of the more interesting elements of the show.
Just knowing that there's at least 1, 2, 3, hundreds of people out there listening to us about some of our valid opinions is just such an amazing feeling.
Now we get to do a lot of cool stuff on the show,
Yes.
and I think probably looking back, my favourite was E3, the hustle and bustle, running in between interviews, seeing a lot of cool people, and meeting some really passionate people that really cared about their games.
Yeah, and that's, I guess that's always the great part, even with TGS, like going to TGS, seeing everybody doing their thing, and not only that, just kind of getting out of Melbourne and kind of having a bit of fun with it as well. I mean, I've met some some fantastic devs. I met Warren Spector, Suda51, heaps of people I respect and have grown up, playing their content and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be real for a second. I'm going to be real. My favourite moment of the last 150 episodes is every time I walk down the street and some guy comes up or some girl comes up or anybody comes up and says, "Hey, you're the guy from New Game Plus. I really like the show." Like, being as sooky as I get.
Like
100%.
being the celebrity.
Yeah, no, it was just the fact that people actually watch this crap we make. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably my favourite part of it all.
It has been 150 episodes, 1172 days since we first introduced New Game Plus. Ah, those were the days.
And Draw Something continues to be the most popular game on mobile, and that is everything that's happened in the world, ever.
Wow, TV production does take its toll. But what was news like back then? Well, we were lamenting the broken state of Diablo 3's online service, questioning the DLC intentions of Mass Effect 3, and eagerly anticipating the release of Half-Life 3. So, what's changed? Well, we're currently regretting this state of Batman Arkham Knight's broken offline functionality, questioning the exclusively energized state of Destiny's DLC, and we're 1172 days closer to Half-Life 3. So yeah, progress! But we've actually had a couple of major news stories in these past 3 or 4 years which have actually changed the gaming landscape, like an excavator digging through a landfill to try and find abandoned Atari copies of ET. Hey, that's a news story right there! But clearly, the biggest story that has impacted both you and me is the release of the PlayStation 4, Wii U, and Xbox One. Now, the PlayStation 4 has given Sony back the lead in the console race, and with the Wii U, Nintendo has been forced to rediscover its sense of adventure. Because, let's face it, we all much prefer the Nintendo of 2015 to the Nintendo of 2008. And then there's the Xbox One. When it was about to launch, it required the Kinect and a perpetual online internet connection, but these were dropped beforehand. And soon the Xbox One will be able to play Xbox 360 games, which is possibly the furthest it could go from the original intentions of barring used games altogether. One might call this series of 180s an Xbox 360, except we've seen that joke done too many times. Speaking of the opposite of dumb, we've had the R18 rating for video games finally introduced in Australia. It was a personally proud moment to walk into a store and see games like Grand Theft Auto 5 emblazoned with a black label, as if saying that yes, video games are equal to TV, to movies, which they really are. It was less pleasing though to see this copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 clearly being purchased for some 8-year-old kid.
Winning the international would obviously mean a lot to me, mostly gold.
We've also seen esports become a very major force in gaming. From Dota to Hearthstone to Street Fighter, professional gamers are attracting as big a fan base as the more conventional athletes.
Woo, Dandy!
Yeah, they are. However, the scene has also attracted the less desirable elements of sports.
Woo!
Yeah, including reports of doping and actual cases of match fixing. Though on a less depressing note, we've also seen a situation where a world champion Pokemon player was stripped of his title after being caught flinging poop in a hotel hallway. So yes, it's the sort of thing you'd almost expect to hear from a rugby player or a footy player like every 3 months. Speaking of kicking segues, we've also seen the rise of Kickstarter and crowdfunding gaming. Now, as recently as 5 years ago, if you wanted to make a game, you'd either have to go through a publisher or dive so deep into your own pockets, you'd pretty much literally become the 2-minute noodles you'd be forced to subsist on. But today, crowdfunding and even early access programs have become a viable source for indie developers to attract early funding, or even for veteran developers to revisit their classic projects. This all undoubtedly kicked off with the success of the Double Fine Adventure Kickstarter. That raised $3.3 million during its run. Compare and contrast to Shenmue 3, which raised that much in as little as 3 days. Now, all of these wildly successful Kickstarter campaigns have appealed to our nostalgia, and they've allowed these previously dormant genres to thrive. Having said that though, it hasn't quite worked for every game. Just look at the failed Kickstarter campaigns for the FMV horror game Night Trap, or the horrific 1994 platformer Boogerman. That's right, Boogerman. Because to get nostalgic over Boogerman is like going to the finest wine bar in town, going to the waiter and asking them for a fine glass from the spit bucket, please. But enough about looking in the past, let's look to the future. What's going to happen in the next 1172 episodes? Well, who knows? Change is inevitable for sure, but it is also agonizingly slow. But you don't go to television for those sorts of predictions, so just screw it. Let's just go jetpacks and hoverboards, because it is always jetpacks and hoverboards. And you know what? Given the state of change, we may even see jetpacks and hoverboards in the next 5 years. And that is everything that's happened in the world, ever.
Now on episode 1, many moons ago, we had a very special guest, and I'm amazed to say that the man hasn't neither incarcerated nor dead. And it's great to see you, Mr. Ben Michael Byrne.
It's great to see you, Mr. Jason O'Hohan.
Nice, I like it. You did very well there. So, like, obviously, you know, when we had you on the first episode, Cranbourne was a thing. You were, I guess, in the beginning phase of Cranbourne. It's been 3 years.
It has.
It's been a long time.
Many pages have passed since then.
Yep.
Many issues.
But you've been a bit of a hiatus now, but you've been working on other stuff.
Yes, I am also working on a comic called Job Done, but written by Mark Hobby, another Australian comic, and I'm also working on an anthology that I'm doing the writing for, but very little of the art. I so far have 35 confirmed artists. So it's chugging along. So
is it like you're gonna like have different people do a different page kind of thing, or is it just
different people doing different stories? Shorts, anywhere from 3 to 15 pages.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I guess it's a little bit different as opposed to you doing your usual kind of, like I've said to you in the past, kind of Frank Miller-y, Sin City and style.
Yeah, very. It's fun to sort of see my scripts through other people's eyes. It's actually, it's one of those things because you hear about other artists. Oh, you know, when I wake up, but it's true. You know, you wake up and you see like such and such has handed in your thing on your email, and it's a real exciting it's like Christmas. You know, you wrote the words, but how they interpret them is nice.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely cool. But I mean, between that and everything else that you've been doing, you've decided to continue making the tank.
Yes, the tank.
The tank.
Yes.
Do we discuss the tank, or
yes,
are you keeping it a secret from the government?
No.
ASIO are aware they've got the photos.
Oh, well, we have a lot of helicopters in our area anyway,
That's
so
true.
they would have seen it by now. But yeah,
you've got to question that, hey, because I mean, Cranbourne, like, there's going to be a lot of helicopters going over.
There are.
Like, have the cops ever knocked on the door and said, "We've got to ask about the tank in the backyard," or are they just like, you know what, don't care?
I reckon
he's not driving on the streets.
Yeah, they'll wait until because I've got a cousin like only a block away, and I'm gonna have to pop around to his house. So I'm just gonna. I know it's naughty, but just once at least. I'm just who has a tank toot the horn in their driveway? I'm just gonna once. Sorry, federal police, but just once, just once. I'll have indicators and everything. It'll be
Interesting.
I'll try to get at least, if not a roadworthy,
polite warfare.
But I'll get a like a
club license,
like a club reg, because it will be based on the body of a '67 Ford Falcon. So.
So like so you just like basically found a donor car.
I purchased a car and I pretty much cut off all the body, kept the engine bay, drive shaft, gearbox, rear axle, which there's now the front axle because the engine's now the back.
It's the back. Yeah. Fair enough. So like I guess like how far along are we before you have your ill-fated drive to your cousin's house?
Ooh, I'd like to be able to do that this year, but these things have a tendency to take a long time.
Because, well, families and comic books and things.
Yes, and definitely no H words.
Fair enough. While I've got you though, I mean, you've been reading much lately?
I have. I've been really enjoying Prophet. I know I've probably mentioned it before, but I just cannot stop saying how much I love Prophet. And of course, always 2000 AD, Judge Dredd magazine, stalwarts, originators, anthology, sex personified, and heavy metal anthology magazine from America.
As in, like, new ones, new heavy metal. What era are we in?
It's still going strong.
Have I woken up in 1973?
No, it's still good. It's different, but it's still a fun beast. You know, it's one of those things. There's always 20 flavors per issue, so there's always going to be at least a couple of things you'll enjoy.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well, look, Ben, we'll leave it there. We'll have to do some more graphic content soon. I'll have to read some more comic books or something.
Yes, yes, it's certainly not my fault that we don't have any more of those.
As the hunt for fugitive aid continues.
You're a liar. I know the truth. I know how you think. I see the digital shadow you cast. You lie to everyone else. You can't hide from me. I'm going to find you and expose you to the world.
So Tim, are you looking forward to this hot new release, Watch Dogs?
Yes, Watch Dogs probably not the hottest nor the newest of releases, but over the last 150 episodes, we're looking back and looking through the trailers, and Watch Dogs is one of those ones that we just saw at first sight and thought, this is an amazing idea. They could make such a good game out of this.
And then we waited. And we waited until the game was finally released in 2014. By that time, we'd almost gotten weary of Watch Dogs, and not to mention, the world had completely changed since the E3 of 2012 when it was first announced. We had gotten so many open world games, especially we've gotten so many Ubisoft-style open world games in between then and its actual release that by the time that it landed in our consoles, it was okay, I guess.
And by that time, we had seen a lot more of the game. We'd seen a lot more gameplay trailers, and it just wasn't as mind-blowing as that first showing of it was.
So what do you want in a big trailer? What in a trailer will get you revved up and excited for a game?
I don't know. It can either be something out of left field, a new franchise that is really doing something different, or it could be bringing back an old nostalgic series, whether it could be, I don't know, like bringing back Ghost Recon in the new Ubisoft press conference. That seems to be a staple sort of thing now, that they're bringing something new and unannounced at the end of their press conferences, and it seems to be pretty good.
The other thing we'll do, Tim, is what we will look forward to happening before episode 200, because it'll be here quicker than we realise, I think.
Yes, and we have a lot of crew here, and they certainly have some high aspirations.
So, what am I looking forward to for the next 50 episodes?
When I think about going forward in New Game Plus, I think of a couple of things.
Do more trivia. Like, it's something I love co-writing. I want to take it to new and exciting places. I want to go to more exciting and new places and present it like, I want to go to Darwin, I want to go to Brisbane, I want to go to, hell, Los Angeles, why not?
The first is hitting the milestone, 248 episodes.
The sky's the limit, right? So yeah, trivia, next 50 episodes, be hype, let's go for it.
The second is continuing to come up with new segments to continue to follow through with segments. Planeswalker Plus Season 2 coming soon.
I've visited Tokyo Game Show. I'd like to visit E3, and especially if it's going to be as good as the last E3 was.
As well as just having lots of fun and being creative with a great bunch of people.
There's a lot of stuff that's been popping up both internationally and nationally that's video game theme related stuff, like video game themed bars. There's arcades on every single bar and kind of every single pub that we can go to. So it's good to explore those nooks and crannies, especially of Melbourne, internationally and even interstate.
I'd go back for a moment to the E3 and how absolutely exciting it was to see what's coming up.
With the announcements of some of my favourite games being continued, like Shenmue and things like such as that.
I'm really looking forward to playing all of them as they come out over the next few months to a year, especially Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, best game ever already, I'll call it.
Well, there's Persona 5. There's also the fact that developers are starting to take more risks with the current generation now that they've figured out all the technical elements of it. We saw a bunch of new IPs announced at E3, and we're bound to see a lot more announced in the next year.
Since I'm new, I look forward to actually seeing more new people coming, and I hope that people that are watching the show and are part of the community get involved. And as the team grows and as the scope grows, you know, it can only get better and better.
More interviews on New Game Plus, bringing really more quality content to our viewers. We're here for the viewers. We're here for gamers. We're here for the developers to showcase their stuff.
You know, we'll also see games like Persona 5. We'll also see virtual reality really become a thing as it starts being released into our homes. Did I mention Persona 5? Because I'm really looking forward to Persona 5.
All those opportunities, definitely looking forward to covering here at New Game Plus, stuff like Haven, Oz Comic Con, TGS, even E3.
Yeah, I'd like to attend E3 in the future as part of the New Game Plus crew.
And I really couldn't be more excited about what's coming up.
There's so much to look forward to, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
We were looking back and now we're looking forward, because I visually did it. Yeah. That was the take, Jeremy. Like, why do you keep fucking things up? That's what I'm not looking forward to the next fucking 150 episodes. Like, fucking Dermy guy. Fuck this shit.
The future is very scary, but it is also very bright and promising.
Well, it
hopefully.
is because, I mean, let's face it, Dota 2 has been reborn.
Yes.
And that's probably the most important thing for us. So
Yes.
no, but being real, I mean, you know, it's great to see the resurgence of Japanese gaming. Hopefully, a couple of these mobile things go away where people pay too much money for video
Hopefully
games.
Konami goes back to making
real games.
Real games.
And it'll be interesting to see how digital distribution goes, I think.
Yes. And also moving forward as a show, we're certainly migrating more towards YouTube, and that brings a lot of challenges, but it also brings a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, Christ-opportunity.
We can do a lot of smaller things, and I'm looking forward to event coverage in the future and having lots of interesting things that aren't necessarily just made for TV. So it'll be interesting.
Dota streams, that's what he's saying. That's what I want him to say anyway.
And that's the end of episode 150 of New Game Plus. And I have Kirsty back instead of Donald.
I am. I've snuck in. Woo! I've ninjaed my way into episode 150 for the bit of a celebration, because 150 episodes, Tim, that is a fair effort.
And we've done a lot of things in those episodes. Now, this year we didn't go to E3, which was a bit unfortunate.
It's the first time, actually.
Yeah, and we've certainly had a lot of fun at events like those in the past, as well as TGS and fun things like that.
All the PAXs. Seeing PAX come to Australia was a real highlight as well. Just seeing everybody come together. It's like what it was like at E3, just seeing everybody come together and just celebrate how much they love video games.
Yeah, and that's the sort of fun things we get to do with this show. And sadly, you'll be leaving us.
That's correct. So I have come to say goodbye. I am moving on now, and I'm going to be really sad to miss it. You know, it's been fantastic working with some great people here and working for all of you guys as well. It's been fantastic to engage with such a fun community, but I'll still be around. You know, you can't get rid of me quite yet. I just, you know, it's a whole like foot cockroach nuclear bomb kind of situation. So which one exactly I am, I haven't quite got that far.
Yes.
But I will hang around. I can't escape it, you know. I just love it too much. And like, why you're still here, Tim? You just love it too much. But you're traveling though. You're going somewhere fun.
I'm going to a wonderful place called Seattle, where Valve is there, and they make some very special games like Half-Life, like Portal,
that's very good.
Left 4 Dead, and Dota 2. I'm going to the International over there, so I'm going to be having a lot of fun.
So you're just doing the pilgrimage, aren't you? So you're just going to go there, cry manly tears, and yell out in great languages. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to have a fantastic time, and I'm very excited for you, Timmy, because you're going to absolutely
And I am
love it.
very excited for you. You've moved on to bigger and better things,
that's
but
it.
I think we should wrap it up.
I think we
Visit our
should.
website, www.newgameplus.tv.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/NewGamePlusTV.
Follow our Twitter and Instagram at NewGamePlusTV.
And don't forget to watch our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/NewGamePlusTV.
And Kirsty, you look like you have something to say.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Kirsty's dead, and she's never coming back.